Look at the snowy landscape. Beautiful, right? But it's all fake. The ground is actually covered in white sand. The snow on the rooftops and walls is made of cotton. Even the snowflakes falling from the sky are just bubbles being blown.
They're calling this snow? When you get close, thinking it's real snow, it turns out to be just cotton balls.
Visitors at the so-called snow village in Chengdu were shocked to find that everything was fake. The ground wasn't covered in real snow, but in white sand. The entire winter wonderland was artificial. Even the flowers were fake. Some visitors questioned how this place could be called the snow village when there wasn't a single flake of real snow. One visitor told Chinese media they felt deceived. The snow village is located in Jingshan Village, Datong Town, in Chengdu. It's a small attraction within the Nanbaoshan tourism area. The site attracted large crowds with promotional images showing snowy forests and cozy wooden cabins. Tickets for 3 people were listed at 49.9 yuan online. A travel vlogger expressed disappointment, saying they felt deceived. They pointed out that most of the trees and decorations were covered in cotton, and the snow effect was just soap bubbles, completely different from the heavy snowfall shown in promotional images. After the issue gained attention, on February 8th, the Nanbaoshan tourism area in Chengdu issued an apology. They explained that due to warm weather, the snow village couldn't produce real snow, so they used artificial materials to create a winter-like atmosphere. However, they admitted the results didn't meet expectations and offered refunds to disappointed visitors. The site has since been temporarily closed. Chengdu Snow Village isn't the only place faking snow. In December last year, a similar case was exposed at the Baoguan Scenic Area in Xinxiang, Henan Province. What is this, Mom?
You call this snow? Cotton? Sand? It's one thing to fool me, but how am I supposed to explain this to my kid?
Visitors discovered that the festival's winter wonderland had no actual snow at all. The snow-covered trees and rooftops were wrapped in cotton, and the white ground was just sand. Many people questioned how they were supposed to explain this to their children. A staff member told Chinese media, "This is a real-life set, but yes, the snow is fake. It's just a substitute for snow." Another worker assured, "It's definitely not harmful. It's just for creating a visual effect. The weather's too warm, so real snow wouldn't last." Another employee explained, "The set is already arranged, and it's perfect for taking pictures. Due to weather conditions, we couldn't create real snow. It's beyond our control." However, the official marketing for these attractions told a different story. On social media, the Baoguan Scenic Area promoted itself as an Altai-style snow village, calling it a cinematic winter wonderland, and urging visitors to experience the first snowfall of the season. The promotional images of Nanbaoshan tourism area also made it look like a dreamy winter retreat, featuring snow-covered forests and wooden cabins, fueling people's imagination of a picturesque snow village. Their advertisements even claimed, "It's not that you can't afford a trip to the Northeast, it's just that Chengdu Snow Village is a better deal." Online reactions were overwhelmingly critical. One person pointed out, nowhere did they mention that the snow is just cotton and white sand, not even artificial snow. Another commented, "Forget fake snow, many so-called waterfalls in tourist attractions are actually just artificial water features." Someone else added, "In places like this, anything is possible." Fake attractions aren't limited to snow. Even massive boulders can be fabricated, and some have been fooling people for years.
There's a small lake here, and in the distance you can see the highest peak in Pengchu. This is a great spot for watching the sunrise and sunset. Since today is Friday, there aren't too many tourists, but on weekends and holidays it gets crowded. Many people hike up at night just to catch the sunrise. Pengcheng First Peak stands at over 900 meters, making it the highest peak in Shenzhen. I started my hike at 3 p.m. and arrived just in time for the sunset. The view is stunning. On the left, you see the sunset, and on the right, the sunrise.
The scenery in his video looks breathtaking, but few would have guessed the shocking truth behind it. The so-called First Peak rock is actually fake. The peak he refers to, Pengcheng First Peak, is Shenzhen's tallest mountain, standing at an elevation of 943.7 meters. The massive rock at the summit, inscribed with the words Pengcheng First Peak, has long been a landmark attracting countless tourists. However, by the end of last year, it was exposed as an artificial structure. When parts of the rock's surface cracked, bricks and steel reinforcements were revealed. One internet user reacted, "It feels like I've been lied to for over 20 years.
Take a good look. This is the famous Puncheng First Peak. It looks grand and majestic, but it turns out to be a fake rock. It's hollow inside, and they didn't even bother to fill it properly with concrete. This is the ultimate counterfeit. We've been taking photos here for years, thinking it was real, but now it feels like all that hiking was for nothing.
Structure. However, there were no signs at the site informing visitors that it was artificial, leading people to believe it was a natural rock for years. The revelation caused an uproar online, with people expressing their disbelief. Comments poured in. "I've been fooled. Even this is fake? I used to want to visit again, but now I've lost interest. I've lived in Shenzhen for so many years, and I always thought it was a real rock. If this one's fake, how many more fake landmarks are there in Shenzhen? In the whole country? I almost want to break open the Qianhai stone to see if it's real. I can't believe anything anymore. What is still real?" Commentator Tang Hao pointed out that the problem isn't just about the technical ability to create fakes, it's about correcting the deeply ingrained mindset of deception. He argued that the Chinese Communist Party's culture of falsehoods has led to widespread counterfeits, from fake food and fake diplomas to fake news and even fake vaccines, causing enormous harm and losses to the people. Without addressing this mindset, China will continue to see deception at every level, creating a cycle where both the government and citizens deceive each other, ultimately creating a tragic society of mutual distrust. China affairs expert Wang He added that the government has destroyed historical sites for real estate development, only to replace them with artificial replicas. He sees this as a sign of arrogance, an attitude of taking and reshaping whatever they want. Fake landscapes, fake landmarks, even fake animals. At this point, it seems like nothing can be trusted. During this year's Chinese New Year holiday, a zoo at Niushan Amusement Park in Zibo, Shandong, was caught disguising a donkey as a zebra. Videos of the incident spread rapidly online.
Take a look at the zebra at Niushan Amusement Park.
A staff member later explains to Chinese media,
"This donkey has always been here at the amusement park. When the weather got cold, the paint started to fade, so we repainted it to look like a zebra again. It's kept the same way as before."
One internet user had previously posted, "This amusement park is fantastic. The zebras look so real. Seeing them looks like being on the African savannah, running with black brothers, spears in hand, chasing elephants." People online mocked the situation, calling it a modern version of pointing at a donkey and calling it a horse, a reference to a Chinese idiom that refers to blatant lying. Another amusement park staff member later confirmed to the media that they had indeed painted a donkey to look like a zebra, adding, "There's a sign saying it's a donkey. The owner did it just for fun." Some internet users also revealed that in Zibo, a local zoo had once disguised dogs as pandas, an incident that also went viral. The list of fake attractions doesn't stop there. In June 2024, China's so-called tallest waterfall in Asia, the Yuntai Sky Waterfall in Henan, was exposed as fake. Instead of being fed by a natural water source, the waterfall was actually powered by large pipes releasing water from above. On June 4, 2024, the scenic area admitted that due to insufficient rainfall, they had installed pipes to channel water into the waterfall. Henan doesn't just have artificial waterfalls, it even has fake glaciers. In December 2024, visitors to Songshan Mountain in Henan discovered that the ice formations at Luya Waterfall appeared suspiciously unnatural. A staff member later admitted to a local news outlet that the ice formations were man-made. He explained, "We created these ice structures, but they're not fully formed yet. The ice layers still need to thicken." Between January 15th and February 25th, 2024, the scenic area launched a Snow and Ice Luya Glacier New Year event, featuring a 100-meter-long dragon ice sculpture, artificial ice formations, and ice lantern displays. The Luya Waterfall Glacier was also enhanced with decorative lighting effects. The problem of fake natural attractions isn't new. In March 2023, a visitor complained after discovering that a waterfall at the Daxiong Mountain scenic area in Chengdu, Henan, was just water being pumped from pipes. When confronted, staff at the site responded that rainfall was low that season and told tourists not to overthink where the water came from. Many internet users weren't surprised, saying that such deception is common in China. This happens everywhere. In South Taihang, they use pipes to create waterfalls. The so-called water curtain cave under the waterfall, where people can walk through, looks like it's made of natural rock, but once you're inside, you realize it's all cement. Fake attractions are everywhere in China's tourism industry. Is there even a point to this? People put all their creativity into scams instead of real innovation. In China, almost everything can be faked. Counterfeit alcohol, shoes, bags, gold, antiques, even fake marriages, fake diplomas, fake news, fake statistics, fake government achievements, and fake poverty alleviation efforts. Officials' public appearances, whether it's President Xi Jinping or local government leaders, often involve staged crowds and hired actors. Even disaster relief efforts have been exposed as staged performances. Recently, a major controversy erupted over China's centralized procurement of generic drugs, exposing yet another case of fraud. The Chinese National Healthcare Security Administration claimed that all drugs included in the program had passed consistency evaluations, ensuring their quality. However, some doctors discovered that these evaluations might have been fabricated. On January 24th, orthopedic surgeon and former deputy editor Xia Zhiming published an article titled "Suspiciously Identical Data in Generic Drug Evaluations." He pointed out that many doctors had raised concerns about the effectiveness of these drugs, but health officials consistently used the so-called consistency evaluations as a defense, insisting that all approved drugs met national quality standards. However, upon reviewing the National Medical Products Administration's website, Xia found that multiple bioequivalence test results were nearly identical across different drug manufacturers. In some cases, even figures beyond the decimal point were exactly the same. For example, rosuvastatin calcium tablets, originally developed by AstraZeneca under the brand name Crestor, had 12 versions approved through consistency evaluations. Two manufacturers, Nanjing Chiatai Tianqing and Lek Pharmaceuticals, submitted data for fasting and post-meal bioequivalence tests that were completely identical in terms of geometric means ratios and 90% confidence intervals. Similarly, for hydrochloride tablets, originally developed by Servier, data from two generic drug manufacturers, Hubei Sihuan and Yuandao Pharmaceuticals, also showed nearly identical figures, despite differences in sample sizes and study conditions. The article pointed out that conducting a proper consistency evaluation for a generic drug is extremely difficult. It requires not only passing laboratory tests, but also proving bioequivalence through human trials, following strict international protocols. Experts in the pharmaceutical industry suggested that such identical data might indicate that a third-party company was conducting tests for multiple manufacturers, leading to duplicated results. Otherwise, competing companies producing the same drug would not be able to share data so easily. The article quickly went viral, sparking widespread debate. Online, people began connecting it to other medical concerns, referencing past issues like ineffective anesthesia and blood pressure medications. Many questioned whether generic drugs in China were truly reliable. On the same day, the National Medical Products Administration's Center for Drug Evaluation issued a statement claiming that the identical data was the result of editing errors and has since been corrected on their website. However, netizens were skeptical. Comments flooded social media. Publish the original data logs and proof. How did 6 completely different institutions all make the same mistake, and now they've just re-uploaded corrected data? They don't even bother to cover it up properly anymore. This is fraud at the highest level. If they're this careless with faking data, imagine how rotten the system really is. They're lying so brazenly, it's unbelievable. They can just change the numbers and upload a new version? It's like a joke. So why is fraud so rampant in China? Many argue that it stems from the system itself. Before the Chinese Communist Party took over, China was known as a society of integrity. Confucius famously said, "A person without honesty is like a cart without a yoke, useless." In ancient times, people valued trustworthiness, keeping promises, and upholding moral values. But in modern China, deception has become the norm, and people are now accustomed to hearing and telling lies. Fraud has become a core part of the CCP's strategy. Since coming to power, the party has reshaped the entire country through political campaigns like the anti-rightist movement and the Cultural Revolution. The traditional Chinese values of honesty and politeness have been replaced by a culture of deception that benefits those in power. The CCP and its elites have profited enormously from this system of lies. Traditional Chinese culture emphasized the belief in higher powers and moral consequences. People once feared karma and retribution for dishonesty, but communist ideology is fundamentally opposed to these principles. Anything that represents traditional morality is seen as an obstacle to party ideology. Commentator Wang He argues that the CCP has dragged China into a moral abyss. With no rule of law, no respect for regulations, and corruption running rampant, a society of mutual harm has emerged. People scam each other, businesses deceive customers, and government officials exploit citizens. According to him, the only way for China to move forward is to dismantle the CCP altogether.